Hello and welcome to UK Versus. Today we are talking rules. And seeing as how someone was very kind enough in Discord to say, you are definitely the kind of person to abuse the rules, let's talk about a rule you can abuse. That's right. We're going to talk about ethical rule abusement. This is a rule abusement that is perfectly fine because it does not impact any aspect of playing the game. Yes. Now, I already checked with the EU judges about this, and we've already got our own little ruling, but Oceania and NA do not have a ruling on this as far as I'm aware. So you guys can abuse this rule as much as you want. And that is, who goes first? So at the beginning of your game, both players reveal their characters, you announce which symbol you're playing, you shuffle up, you acknowledge where the sideboard is, and then you determine who's going first. And the only stipulation there is that you must decide who's going first randomly. Now, the majority of us are very upstanding players, and we do it very well by just doing a high roll D2D6s, which is the best way to do it. Doing a coin flip does not work unless you know how to properly flip a coin. Majority of the time it's going to land on the side that you flipped it from. There's actually been a study on this that shows that the first 1,000 times someone flips a coin, so essentially as they're developing the skill, majority of the time it will land the same way that you flipped it because people do not know how to flip coins properly. They can't get the proper spin, they can't get the proper sort of flip to it, and that's why a lot of card games do not have a flip mechanic because it's very abusable. What they do is one where you have to call it and your opponent flips it, so but it's an abuse. It is still random, but it's not as random as it should be, and a lot of people are aware of this. Yes, there are trick dice ways you can mess about with it, and a dice roll's the best way to go. But the big thing about this little rule here, there's no time limit on that. So as long as you're not doing a test of skill, so you can't do a game of Universus to decide who goes first in your game of Universus. You can do some nice apps where you put your finger on and you can do randomly generated who goes first. But why not go deeper? My perfect example for this, which I took up with the EU judges, was, can I play Pop-Up Pirate? Pop-Up Pirate is it's a game aimed at kids where you take a pirate, you put it in this really nice barrel, and you stab swords into it. And the hole that triggers the pirate is random. You cannot predict it. It's not a game of skill. You can do it with Crocodile Dentist, where you open a crocodile's mouth and you tap it down. And again, it's completely random. You can feel a bit of tension on it, but if you touch the key, you're pressing the key. That's the way it works. If you get the key, you get the key. Rock, paper, scissors, not acceptable. Rock, paper, scissors is defined as a game of skill and luck. So rock, paper, scissors does not count. But if you can find a random way to decide who's going first, that takes 50 minutes, technically, and we all know technically correct is the best kind of correct, there is nothing in the rules to say you cannot use that to decide who's going first and then play a 10-minute game. And I know nobody will do this, but I wasn't going to make this video. But then some guy decided to go, you're the kind of person that would abuse the rules. So let's abuse the rules. Screw it. If IDing is seen as unethical, let's show a way that you can ID following the letter of the rules. Now, when I brought this up with the EU judges, they said that basically, yes, I could use Pop-Up Pirate. However, the way I decide with Pop-Up Pirate has to be as quick as a dice roll. And that's vaguely worded because some dice rolls, especially if you keep rolling the same number, can last a good long while. But essentially, it's meant to be a fraction of a second. So the EU judges have already ruled this because I do generally check this stuff against judges to make sure I missed anything. And the few times that I don't, I do miss something and I get shouted at by the judges. So that's the EU judges. But has anyone ever brought this up to an NA judge? Has anyone ever brought this to an OCE judge? Can I just sit there and play Crocodile Dentist? It's pretty fast. You're not going to get 50 minutes. But there's got to be a random way. Kaplunk could probably pass it. Twister, I would probably say more comes with a game of skill because you've got to be flexible. You've got to have the skills. But imagine just popping out a board game midstream and being like, yeah, we're going to decide who goes first with the game of life. But it's like, yeah, we're just going to decide that way. Nice little short video of me saying that this isn't ethical rule abuse. It's something that no one will ever use. And if they did, the rules would get changed very quickly. And I'm probably going to get in trouble for highlighting this quite oversight in the rules because it may be one of those things that no one's ever occurred to do it. And I'm sure someone now in the community is going to show up to an event and be like, how should we decide to go first? The high roll? No. Kaplunk. And slams down this tube with marbles and this and the judge is like, what are you doing? He's like, we decided who's going first. Yeah, no, because it's not against the rules. And I've argued before that judges need to have their own discretion, which is why I am just saying that this is an EU ruling that it needs to be quick. Because Miri and the boys get on top of these things quite quickly when I bring them up. But NA and OCE haven't got a ruling for this. So, what would you do? What randomized task would you do? Imagine if a Universus basically turned around and said, IDs are now illegal. If you intentionally draw, it's a double game loss. What would you do to sit there and essentially abuse this aspect of the rules to say, oh, we're not IDing, we're still deciding who's going first? You're allowed to do that, I guess? It's like, yeah, technically correct is the best kind of correct. And I know immediately this comment section is just going to be filled with shut the fuck up, Brett, no one's going to do that. But I swear now I am planting the seed in the heads of someone here. Purely, I've had this video lined up for so long, but this one comment just made me go, fuck it, I'm going to make the video about the fact that going first is an abusable rule, that you can just basically sit there and if your opponent agrees, just mess around for an hour, trying to decide who's going first, playing Kaplunk or another randomized game. I love it. I love this little ethical rule hack. So, but what do you think? What do you think about deciding who's going first outside of a dice roll? Not coin flips, not rock, paper, scissors, because they're not truly random. They're not skill. They're a bit more skill based. But what do you think about deciding who's going first through Jenga, Pop-Up Pirates, Kaplunk, these non-skill, more RNG kind of games, just to kind of kill time? It's not what anyone should really be doing, but it is allowed within the rules, apart from in the EU, where it's already been addressed, and you have to do it quickly. So unless you're a speed demon at Jenga, doesn't matter. Let me know in the comments below. Is this just a completely pointless video? Is this me just overreacting to one person's comments and me finding an excuse to bring up this issue? Let me know in the comments below. And also let me know, how would you randomly decide who's going first, but also over the majority of time? What can you think of that would be random, not skill intense, and also use the most amount of the round time to decide who's going first? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one.